Many English learners have their sentences ready in their minds in their first language, and then they want to translate them all word by word. As a result, the final English sentence does not often sound native or normal. In this video, I'm going to introduce 2 strategies I use myself, enabling me to sharpen up my English from upper intermediate level, B2+, to C2, proficient level. One specifically is for speaking, and the other one specifically for writing. The first one for enhancing your speaking. No matter what your level is, this shadowing technique with TED Talks is gonna make a huge change. So what is shadowing? It is repeating someone else's sentences or phrases right after you hear them to imitate their pronunciation, intonation. In addition, you're going to work on your physical fluency. In this video, I talked about this feature. Improving your physical fluency simply means not getting tongue twisted. I mean, your lips and your tongue can move in the directions that you want in English. What's more, you're going to learn native phrases, collocations, and structures, and all these advantages are taken automatically and unconsciously, kind of effortlessly, without thinking about them. That's the miracle of shadowing. Why TED Talks? Because almost all the speakers use brilliant pronunciations plus academic words and structures. Let's jump directly into one of my favorite TED Talks to show you how this works in practice. The title, The Science Behind Dramatically Better Conversations. I want you to pay attention to the smallest details.
I'm gonna ask you.
In shadowing, you don't say, I'm gonna ask you to. No, repeat words just like the speaker. Here he said,
I'm gonna ask you.
I'm gonna ask you. This is your native English intonation. Find it in the rhythm of the speaker and imitate it, okay?
To participate in an experiment.
Participate in an experiment. You see the stress of the word participate here?
Which is that
When you leave this room,
when you go out into the world,
when you go out to the world, and you can do this for the rest of the video. Here, I'm gonna tell you what I'm learning by this. First of all, participate plus in. Yeah, this is going to be instilled in my mind. And then I can think of this phrase of participate in an experiment for other situations that I wanna speak about. The other one is, look at this phrase, go out into the world. That was nice. And now I know natives speak like that when they want to talk about the society out of your home, out of your house, social life. So for instance, when I'm thinking about children and I want to express my idea of taking responsibility for children, I can say children should learn to take responsibility for their actions, to be prepared when they go out into the world. And trust me, if you do this shadowing practice, it makes you think about what you are saying, because it is not just passively hearing the audio, just listening to the sound. No, now you are saying the words, you are generating the sentences, the phrases, the language yourself. So it makes you think about what you're saying. This thinking can help you find English structures, native structures, and use them for yourself. If you'd like to have a list of perfect speakers, I mean with standard accents for yourself with interesting topics, I've gathered a list of them in the description. Of course, they are my favorites. Maybe you find some of them boring or kind of complex, but you at least can get an idea of how to choose them. Feel comfortable to find them in the description. And now, the second approach, which is perfectly useful for putting words together in a sentence, specifically for your writing. Although for speaking, I found it of use too. It's a website called Fraze.it. As you see, it says, improve your writing skills, learn from professional writers with more than 100 million sentences. This is the most advanced platform for sentences on the net. Yeah, that's the key. Useful to writing community, from professional writers to college and ESL students and teachers. What's better than that? What else do you want? And here it's giving you some examples how to search and look up new information. For example, if you just write a word, you can find it used in sentences. With these letters and signs, you can choose where that word should be in the results. This resource is gathering all the sentences from professional and official websites. Isn't it amazing? So how do I use that? For example, imagine you have just learned, you have just found this suffix of wise, and then you want to make a sentence using, for example, language-wise. You want to say, or you want to write, I respect this other's books, language-wise. It means from the aspect of the language used in his or her books. But you are not sure, do we have such a structure language-wise in English? Quickly, you can look it up and see, is there any sentence used with language-wise in any website or not? Here, economist.com, there's a sentence. Read it to see, is there the structure, the meaning, like what you want to use or not. Of course, you can just Google language-wise and use AI results for that, but as far as I know, as far as I found, you cannot see the language, the collocation, the phrase that you want in a real used sentence by natives before. But this website is going to gather them all in just one place. One point, do not trust Wikipedia results on this website, because on Wikipedia, everyone can write. Just trust the famous websites. Also, you have this option of open, save and copy. Open the site, open the piece of news that it was used in. So this sentence is correct. And you can do it for other features. For example, if you don't know the order of some adjectives or adverbs in your sentence, you can search them and find whether there is a similar sentence or not, and be sure about using that, feeling like that's okay, that would seem normal to a native person, and you would not sound strange in their eyes. Let me know if these two methods were useful to you, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified of the coming videos. Take care. Bye.